You are listening to Comedy Club for Kids presents Radio Nonsense, Radio Nonsense, Radio Nonsense, Radio Nonsense, Radio Nonsense. Hello and welcome to Radio Nonsense, the official Comedy Club for Kids podcast that's suitable for all ages from
snorkel
to and everything in between. I'm Tiernan, and this week I am trying to talk much more slowly than usual, as you've probably noticed. No, it's not because I'm trying to get more tortoises to listen to the show, or snails, because they are so slow. I'd have to make really long special episodes that go on for 2 to 3 days so they could listen while they slimed their way to the shops round the corner or slowly walked to their kitchen. And no, I'm not trying to slow down this show so it sounds normal while you go swimming, as then the Comedy Club for Squids would complain I'm taking all their listeners. So I'm talking slowly because I take all your emails and comments very, very seriously. And this week, the show got this review from BBB, which I think must stand for Bill. Yes, Triple Bill, as they're known, maybe. And they said, a little bit good. Hippo farts, with 5 fart emojis, 4 hippo emojis, and 7 hippo fart emoji. Thanks for that. I don't need any more hippo farts at Comedy Club for Kids HQ. And then BBB says, here's a joke. How many people in a band can change a light bulb? 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Ha 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 ha. That's great. I love this show. My fave soup is tomato soup with noodles and a cheese stick to put in, and goldfish and butter in my soup. Also cream cheese on Ritz crackers. Here's an intro. Hippo farts everything, fart even me. P.S. You talk a little too fast, so can you slow down? I can't understand. Please, you are the fastest talker I know. Well, thank you, BBB, for the review and the excellent joke and soup tips and intro ideas, and 0 thanks for the hippo farts, as they were disgusting. But, sorry, that's too many buts, ha, buts. I mean, too fast, Triple Bill, when I never. I speak at precisely Tiernan speed, which, oh, sorry, I've sped up, haven't I? Let me try again. Look, I do take this sort of feedback very seriously, which is why I'm trying to learn and speak super slowly this week so BBB can enjoy the show properly. Linda, Do I speak too fast, Linda? No idea where she is, but maybe I speak too fast for her too. Did you know you can change the speed of the podcast you're listening to from 1 times speed to zero point 0.5 or 2 times even? And it's normally in the corner of where I listen to podcasts, but it might be somewhere different for you, like in the middle, or on a passing bee, or inside your nose, so very worth a look. Right, well, we have some other things in the mailbag. So, I'm going to read these slowly, then I'll increase speed with each one until the importantest bit, and we'll see what sounds best for everyone. So, first up, this has been sent by Cry Laughing Face, Falling Over Cry Laughing Face, Smiling Face, who says, Hello, hi, it's me, all the faces again. Firstly, is that a word? Dunno, well I guess it is now. In reply to the Meerkat episode ages ago, great answer, and my nickname is AA for short version of ... all the faces. So I should say AA, as it takes ages and ages when you've slowed your voice to say cry laughing face, falling over, cry laughing face, smiling face. And AA says, secondly, I wanted to say this podcast is so turtly epic. You should 700% listen to this. Thanks, AA. I do already. Also, could you read this on the next episode? That would be so cool. 3 farting hippos. Oh, no. Not more farting hippos. And then they've put Linda. Thank you so much, Many Faces or AA. It's turtly epic. Does that mean I should do this show even more slowly? Oh, no, wait, that's tortoises, isn't it? Turtles are much faster and underwater, so when they fart, it turns to bubbles. Oh, no, well, I hope the Comedy Club for Squids don't get annoyed that this is turtly epic, then. I'm so pleased, AA, you like the answer to your question about meerkats, which I think was on the show about 400 years ago. And don't worry, firstly is a word. It means you just need some water. I'm very firstly right now. I'm sure that's what it means. Okay, let me try speeding up a little bit now, but still slowish. Next we have this. Hello, my name is John. I am 10 and I live on the border of Yorkshire in Britain, and I love listening to your podcast while drinking my tea. Amazing. Thank you, John. I'm so glad this is your drinking tea podcast of choice, and I do hope you drink Yorkshire tea, which is the bestest, and you do it while holding your pinky finger up. That is supposedly the correct way to do it, but I don't do that, so I'll probably get told off by a tea wizard at some point. I love tea so much. Did you know, John, that you can get tea in bags, tea leaves, T-shirts, and even tea junctions? I'm not sure. I'd like to drink one of those, though. Very fumey. Okay, now to speed up to normal voice for this next one. This joke has been making me giggle all week and has been sent in by Henry in New Zealand. And Henry says, what nationality are you when you go to the bathroom? European. European. Henry, honestly, that is such an amazing joke that when I heard it, I fell over laughing, and then I fell over laughing in the middle of that falling over too. Thank you so much. Right, okay, how's this sounding now? Shall we go even faster? Let's go even faster. Okay, so if you'd like to send in any jokes, comments about tea or soup or words or anything, or you'd like to ask a question that needs to be answered on this show, then please get your Grey Bell mud scamps, grown-ups, to help you email us at podcast@comedyclubforkids.co.uk. You can also check out all of our live shows at comedyclubforkids.co.uk, and we've finally started up our mailing list again, so get those grown-ups to sign up at the website to get almost monthly updates on where you can see us live, but also all sorts of other fun things. And you can grab our t-shirts made with real tea, John. No, I'm sorry, they aren't. And our book at comedyclubforkids.store. And an extra thing this week, on March the 2nd, so this will come out probably March the 1st, and March the 2nd, the day after, I'm doing a live Q&A for Scholastic with very funny author Helen Rutter, who's written the great book, The Funniest Boy in the World. And the whole Q&A is going to be about how to be funny, how you can be funny. You can either ask your school to sign up to watch it live if you hear this in time, or you'll be able to find it on the scholastic.co.uk site after it's been on. That's quite exhausting talking that fast. I suppose I'd better go and think about what speed is best for this show. I know what BBB wants, the one is slower, but is that right for everyone? I don't know. Look, while I do that, you go and listen to this most important bit at, do you know what? Whatever speed you like. Oh my goshness, here on Radio Nonsense today is the Alasdair Beckett King, aka Alasdair Beckett King, the man who taught the fish to sing, aka Baron of the Nine Smelms, Alderi Becky Kinglington, and as all our Malagasy speaking listeners know you, Nahazo Kael Tsasara Indrada Teo and Tanyana Izzy. But of course, Alasdair, you are most famous for your magical ability to only ever fall up things instead of down them, for popularising the 100-metre Yella and Mole race, and it would be very ignorant of me to not be aware of your legendary work standing in for famous works of art when they need to take a holiday. It is lovely to have you here. How are you?
Moles have had it too easy, don't you think? They've had it too easy.
I wondered why they stayed underground for so long. And then is it because when they pop up, you shout at them?
I do shout at them, and I encourage the fish that I teach to sing to make those songs as sarcastic as possible.
Wow, about mole, because I've heard some of your more sort of grand fish singing concerts that you put together, which was
because of course sound travels faster underwater, so it's the ideal medium for song.
Wow, so is that right? So if I was to go and watch
just
a fish
pure,
concert,
just science.
I would
it's
hear
just
it before
science.
I even got there, or
that's right. Ideally, yeah.
Wow.
And then when you arrive, they're just packing up.
That's fantastic. And so fish sound. I didn't know that about sound. So when fish have a conversation, they're always one answer ahead of the question.
Yes, it's like a Two Ronnie sketch.
Right. Which must be.
I'm not sure whether the listenership to this podcast would get that reference, but it's good.
It's a very good reference, and the listeners may not know that, but I suggest that they find that out specifically to then rewind to that bit of the conversation and then laugh at it. Yeah, yeah. It's very so. When you teach fish to sing, do you have they already sung before you've taught them the song, and then because of the sound? I'm slightly. I mean, obviously I'm an amateur, and I feel like maybe I'm asking too many questions here, but I'm confused as to how you do that.
Well, I don't want to give away any trade secrets, but as you know, the ocean, the life of the ocean comes in many shapes and sizes. Basically, it's all about arranging them in order of size. So you want to get the little tiddlers for the high notes, and then the great big beefy ones for the bass. And you want to arrange them like a sort of moist barbershop quartet. And then it's just a matter of tickling them in the right order. Wow,
that's amazing. And
a little tickle under the fins is all it takes for most fish.
Is that it?
That's an example. Just obviously, I haven't got any very large fish here, so I'm just tickling a moderate-sized fish.
Yes, well, I see you've got a goldfish in one hand there, and I think that sound was coming from one of those rainbow fish, which, I mean, beautiful creature. Yeah. It makes a lovely sound, and it's lovely colours, makes a lovely sound, and I guess you sort of got the minnows. You have to tickle a few at a time to get a good volume.
Yeah. I mean, if you can get one per finger, if you're good, a skilled conductor should be tickling one minnow per finger, really.
Right. And then when we're talking like the large, like double bass type sound, what's the biggest? Is it tuna, or do you go to like a sunfish, or have you ever tickled a whale?
Well, obviously a whale is a mammal, and not necessarily taxonomically a fish. But sure. I'd tickle a whale, absolutely. But you don't want to be getting in there with fingers. A whale wouldn't notice. What you want to do is take an entire mop and just scrub away on the undercarriage.
Right. I am sorry.
If the whale's good, he knows what he's doing. He'll sing.
Right. Yes. I should apologise because I did obviously say whale when you're someone who works with singing fish, and a whale is a mammal. It's a whole.
I'm not offended.
Game.
I'm not offended. It's not for me to speak for the whales.
Sure. No, of course. Or sing for them. Actually,
I certainly would not know.
Yes. Well, yeah, it's an awkward mistake, and I know that whales get that sort of thing a lot, as do dolphins.
Yep.
And sea cows, I think.
Yes, dugongs, mermaids.
Yes. Do you know what? Something that I was thinking the other day. I mean, I don't know if do you ever come across mermaids when you're teaching fish to sing? Obviously, you have to be down under the water for quite a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do mermaids interrupt them? I have to admit, mermaids can be a problem. I've tried everything. I've tried putting out traps. I've tried. They say lemon juice.
What?
Will scare them away, but it just tends to dissipate into the salty brine of the ocean.
Right.
In my experience, if you know a better way of keeping away mermaids, I'd love to hear it.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know enough about mermaids. And a question that came up recently was, do mermaids, because mermaids, the top half is a person, but the bottom half is a fish.
Yes,
and I don't know how that works for their sort of singing capacity. But I did wonder, do they poo like fish? Do they do long, stringy poos like fish?
That hang out and just sort of stay there?
Yeah.
I can answer that question, and I'm afraid it's as revolting as you'd imagine. Yes.
Sure.
We're talking about a long, long, stringy poo that can be there for several weeks. And they're just swimming on as if it's not there.
Yeah,
have
because
some
that
respect.
really ruins the beautiful mermaid imagery if they're sort of lovely hair and the multicoloured tail and then big long poo that goes on for miles.
And they keep swimming down to the bottom, popping a single stone into their mouth, giving it a taste, and then spitting it back out again. Ugh, revolting.
Horrible. Wow. And I mean, I assume with the half human, half fish thing, the singing capabilities are a bit weird.
Limited.
Yeah.
Limited. Yeah. It's very bubbly. It's too bubbly.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't have a mermaid in my troupe. Certainly not.
Sure. I understand that. And, you're a professional. It's one of the reasons I'm so pleased you could do this podcast. You're very passionate about these things that you do. You've been yelling at those moles so professionally for years now. You've been teaching the fish to sing professionally. I don't think you do anything by half measure.
No, absolutely not. If you're going to yell at a mole, do it. Throw everything into it. You want to leave that mole absolutely devastated.
Yes.
Don't let the mole shrug it off.
Can I ask? Maybe I might be, probing too far with the questions, but can I ask why it's moles that you particularly like?
Okay. I came on this podcast in good faith to have a nice conversation. I didn't realise that I was going to be put on trial by mole sympathisers.
You don't have to answer. You don't have to. I'm not. You don't have to answer. It's just my own personal curiosity. I know I was given a bit of paper before this started saying, please, whatever you do, don't ask Alasdair why he has to yell at moles specifically. But it's very hard for me not to ask that when, there are badgers. Let
me be clear. Nobody is denying that there are badgers.
Yeah,
I agree.
Okay,
there are badgers.
Okay,
there are badgers.
Right. Well, that's.
I didn't come on here to deny the existence of badgers.
Oh, okay. Oh, sorry. That's the next. It does say next on my sib paper. Don't ask Alasdair about the existence of badgers. He won't deny it.
Yeah, I won't deny it. I won't.
Right.
I've seen one.
Whoa. Wow. Yeah. No way.
Yeah, I have.
Gosh, what was it doing?
Yeah. Tax return.
Gosh. Can I ask where was it? Was it in a shopping centre? Was it in a desert lay-by? Where I don't know even where you would see such a thing.
Great question there. Was it in a shopping centre, a desert, or a lay-by? I would have to say that the badger I saw doing his tax return was at a manicurist. It was at the manicurist's.
That's where they are. Because I've
Yeah,
never...
it took me a while to remember. I think you might have noticed that there was a long pause where I was like, well, where was that? It was a manicurist's.
But is that because I'd assume you were so in awe of actually seeing this, mythical creature, almost mythical creature, a badger? We know they're not mythical because
they're
there
not ten a penny
are the
like
rare few
mermaids.
people that have seen you. Yeah, not like mermaids. Everyone sees a mermaid when they go for a swim. But you saw this badger, and it's that you probably can't remember much else about what you were doing because that must take up your whole memory box.
That's right. Yeah, no, the entire capacity is full to the brim of saw a badger doing his tax return in a manicurist's.
Wow,
that's the only information I know.
But why would you need anything else? I mean, I think it's remarkable, and I'm quite jealous. I'll be honest. I've never seen. Trying to think if I've ever seen a badger. No, I saw a dog once that had a bit of white paint on its head, and I thought it was a badger, but it wasn't. Wasn't.
Have you ever seen a raccoon having a spa treatment? Because it's quite like that.
Oh, okay. No, I can imagine. No, that's
It's in that area. Yeah.
Right. Wow. I mean, it's still though. When you see nature in its natural habitat like that, I don't think there's anything.
It's incredible.
That compares. Yeah.
It's absolutely incredible.
Yeah. Well,
and to see it just there, having its nails polished at the same time as entering its capital gains for the previous financial year, it was extraordinary.
That's the sort of thing that people don't even see on like David Attenborough.
No,
but you've really got to have. You just got to be there at the right.
Very few of those animals are self-employed, so most of those animals don't do their own tax returns, or they've got an accountant.
That's true. That is true. Yes, it's funny that, isn't it? I suppose a lot of badgers like working for big industries. They tend to work.
You rarely get a freelance badger.
Yeah, you do rarely get a freelance badger. So it's got to be hard, though, isn't it? Being a freelance, what would you? Because there's already badgers going around digging sets. That's what they're called, isn't it? I think the little badgers has to set, and then would they sort of eating old fruit? I guess they eat old apples. I don't really know. It's the thing is, again, not really anyone's seen a badger. I don't really know anything about them.
Well, I think. Hopefully I can explain a little bit. You're absolutely right that a badger's house is called a set. I think what most people don't realise is while you don't see many badgers, their work is all around us. So actually, most sort of television dramas and films take place on sets,
right.
and those are all actually constructed by badgers.
Wow.
So we may not see the badgers themselves, but we're all enjoying their work.
So is it so that and this explains why we don't see them because they're always off camera. They're doing all the behind the scenes.
Yeah, more behind the scenes. Yeah, sort of art department, production assistant roles. Yes,
and that's why it's so hard to freelance because there's already enough badgers working in these big sort of businesses putting together these sets, the big studios, Warner Brothers, Disney, all that, and
it's very hard for the little badger to break into the industry. Yeah.
Hey, look, listen, Alasdair, I'm so grateful that you come on the show. I'm very sorry about the earlier mole question, and we've moved.
No, that's fine. It's forgotten about.
Yeah, well, that's it.
I don't even remember what you said.
No, neither do I. I don't know what I'm talking about. So it's, we'll just ignore it, and I won't even question such things again. But it's that sort of expertise. I feel like it's been very, informative already, and it's that sort of expertise. I have got a question that I need you to answer and that we've had sent in. But before that, I've just got to do a bit of admin, and I hope that's okay.
That's fine.
Good. I'm pleased. It was on your bit of paper that admin was allowed.
Admin permitted. Yeah. Mole questions. Big cross next to that. No,
right,
thank
you.
That's
fine. I have to say, I don't know who handed me this bit of paper. It just was pushed under the door.
It'll be one of my agents.
Right. It was one of your agents. Right. The secret agent or news agent?
Well, I mean, if I told you that.
Yes, of course.
If I told you that.
Of course. It shouldn't surprise me that you have more than one. It's
I've got agents. I've got agents, secret, estate. I've got the whole every kind you can imagine.
Wow.
Travel.
Oh.
Every kind.
Wow. I'm just trying to imagine another cabbage?
A cabbage agent?
Yeah.
Is that a kind of agent?
Well, I don't know. I was just trying to imagine an agent for you said any I could imagine. I was...
Oh, yeah, no, fair enough, yeah. I suppose cabbages need representation as much as anyone else.
So have you got a cabbage agent?
Well, if I were a cabbage, I'm imagining like if you were doing an advert for cabbages and you wanted a really appealing, attractive-looking cabbage for the advert,
or even a
you'd probably
cabbage.
go to a cabbage agent.
Yeah, you need
news.
Yeah,
news is another kind of agent. News agent.
Yes. Well, I hadn't imagined that. I'd only imagined the. Sorry, I took that to. You said. I do apologise. I hadn't imagined the news agents. I was imagining, the world of stunt cabbages, and I just sort of. Yeah. It's fine. It's very. It's what always happens. I get these amazing guests like yourself for the show, and I'm such an amateur when it comes to these fields of knowledge that I do put my foot in it in a cabbage sometimes, and then
sometimes you're going to put your foot in a cabbage.
It's awkward, and then their agent gets onto you and gets very upset that they're now too injured to do the cabbage shoot, and anyway,
it's just a pile of leaves now.
Yeah. So. Anyway, I shouldn't. I can't talk about that too much because of libel. So, I've got these admin questions that I do have to ask you. I ask all the guests this, and the first one is that this is. I'm not sure if you're aware, Alasdair, but this is an audio podcast, so most of our listeners do hear this with their ears. Some might listen with their bums or their knees. It's up to them how they listen. And I just wondered if you had a favourite noise that you could either tell us about or even better make for us.
Great, yeah. My favourite noise is the sound of a duck quacking, but I'm going to be more specific than that. What I like about ducks quacking is the way ducks quack at the speed that they walk.
Oh,
I don't know if you've noticed that. Well, you'll see a duck walking, and he goes like he does like one quack per step. But if you sort of go near him and startle him a little bit, then he speeds up and he goes from like
wow.
And that's what I like about the fact is that they're doing a little sort of left, right.
Wow.
And they're determined to quack every time they put their feet on the ground. Good for them.
Yeah, that's. I mean, I've always assumed the quack comes from the beak and the throat. I suppose I don't know quite where, like if it's like how we make noise. But do you think it's their feet that quack?
Well, I mean, are you familiar with the phrase "duck smuggling"?
I'm afraid I'm not. No,
you're not. No. Okay. Well, how to say this? How to say this? Have you ever been walking when you've felt the need to when you felt any sort of pressure in the bummular area?
Right. Yes. Yes. I know all of that. Yep.
Have you ever released that pressure and disguised the sound with walking? Which is very similar to a sort of that action of disguising with steps is duck smuggling, because if you just hear it, it sounds like the person is smuggling a duck in their trousers. That's
remarkable. And so, maybe I'm looking into this too much. Are you suggesting that ducks are releasing bummular gas as they take each step? It's possible that
ducks have a second smaller duck in their pants as they walk. And
they've got a smaller...
quacking.
Right.
That's possible. Or it could be, as you say, bummular emissions.
They do eat a lot of bread, don't they?
They do. They love the carbs.
Yeah, it's going to cause a lot of gas. I was going to ask, because you point out two types. You pointed out the normal but duck walk, which we've seen with whack, 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 and then the super fast. I can't do it as well as you. Yes, perfect. Have you ever seen like a casual duck taking slower steps with a?
It's an example.
That's lovely.
Perhaps taking a stroll in Paris next to the Seine.
Oh.
Bonjour. That duck was just saying hello to a French person.
It's very, of course, I assume all ducks are at least bilingual, if not trilingual.
But most ducks are French, yeah.
Yeah, it sort of strikes me as...
They prefer baguettes, but they never get it. Whenever you give them sliced bread, they're like, oh.
I have got in trouble before lobbing baguettes into a pond.
Yes, you don't want to torpedo them. You don't want to throw them overarm style like a javelin. Absolutely don't do that.
Yes, that's it. Well, I concussed a heron and I've not been allowed back. So that's why, I'm pleased you can laugh.
That was a laughter of disapproval. I want to be clear. I don't endorse that sort of behaviour on Britain's waterways. No.
Well, I know, but it's. I'm still, I'm still in a lot of trouble for it. Well, listen, what a fantastic noise, and again, a whole area that I don't think I knew anything about, or the listeners won't be aware of, and now I know that we can watch ducks from a whole different learned perspective. That they are very farty birds.
Yep, absolutely. And some of the fartiest.
Some of the fartiest. Goodness me. Well, it's fascinating. Well, listen, and the other question I have to ask you, of course, and this one's is very important in that this is a family-friendly show. It's suitable for people of all possible ages that you can imagine. Can you imagine an age?
Yeah. Yes, I could easily.
Oh, good. Excellent, good.
Yeah, easily I could. I'm imagining one now.
Oh, can I ask which one it is?
14.
Oh, 14. Okay, I was worried then that you couldn't actually imagine an age.
Well, I think I obviously could.
Sure.
I would have no trouble imagining an age.
Sure. It's just that you did, now that you told me it's 14, it's quite a complicated one to imagine, so I do understand.
It took me a little while.
Yes. That's the age I think you can only be when you're lying down, isn't it? 14, and then
yes, 14, absolutely, yeah.
Yes, it's very, very tricky, but that's fair. Well, it's absolutely suitable for 14, and of course, Roof 12, and it's suitable for all the ages apart from 100. Long story. Not going to go into it now. All our listeners know the rules, but if you're 100, just stop it. It's not for you, know it. But for everyone else, this is suitable for them. And I just want to check if there are any rude words that you're not going to be saying during this show.
Well, I've got a whole rude phrase that I won't say, and I'm sorry to keep this in a trouserall region.
Sure.
But the phrase that I won't be using is fartiferous twang, which as I'm sure listeners know, is a term used to describe, when you have a ruler on the edge of a table and you twang it and it goes blah, 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 blah. And if you're good, you can slide the ruler to change the pitch of the twang. That sound is a fartiferous twang, and I would never say that on a podcast.
Wow. I mean, do you know what? I mean, for a start, I'm very glad you won't say fartiferous twang. It is a horrendous term, and I dread to think what would happen were such a term to be used on this show. I suspect we wouldn't be allowed to make another episode.
No, they wouldn't let you. They would not let you.
But I have to say, I'm also very impressed that not only for the favourite noise, did you give us an incredible noise, that this also has an incredible noise accompanied to it.
You're right. I hadn't even noticed that my word I won't say is a noise.
That's fartiferous twang, isn't it? That you won't say.
That fartiferous twang would not say that.
Is it safe to make the noise? Because if had you made that noise without the word, I don't know if I'd have felt so offended.
Well, hold on. I don't know if I've got a long enough ruler. Let me try. Okay, now I've got a very small ruler here. It's about 1 millimeter long.
Right.
But I'm going to adjust my microphone and see if I can. Maybe this will work. Maybe it won't. If it doesn't, you can edit it out. But we've got some real science happening now. Okay.
My goodness.
All right. Are you ready for me to flick?
Please commence.
So just to explain, I'm holding the ruler onto the table using my right hand, and my left hand, which is almost identical but a mirror image of the first hand, is going to flick the ruler.
Wow.
There we go. So, and that's the best I can give. To be honest, I'm quite disappointed by how that sounded. Hold on, see if I can do a better one. Even worse. This is terrible. No. Ooh.
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 Wow.
Oh, now what I did there was I added in the slide that you'll be familiar with. You look like a ruler slider.
I think that's the nicest thing anyone's ever said to me. Yeah.
So, whoa. Oh, no. Sorry, I'm going to have to fix my desk a second.
It's understandable, but after that sort of incredible feat of musical display, it's understandable that there's going to be mishaps afterwards. I'm going to take a little while to reel from those noises that got more and more cartoony with each one. It was very, if the listeners can't tell any of this, but Alasdair has actually disappeared now. No.
I'm back.
He has returned after safely disposing of the ruler, so that no one else can harm themselves on a recently twanged piece of kit. Yeah.
Sorry about that. You do edit this, don't you?
Well, I don't know what editing is. I don't know what you.
Okay. Well, in that case, nothing happened. I didn't.
I was telling the listeners that
fine.
you were safely disposing of the ruler, so that no one else.
That ruler's gone. You're not going to see that again. You're not going to see that.
Yeah, that's good, because you shouldn't return to a recently twanged ruler, as far as I know, or it can be.
No, absolutely not, because it could be very hot.
Yes, well, exactly. So, well, thank you for not, thank you for the display, but and thank you for not saying Fartiferous Twang, and I definitely won't.
You're welcome,
because it's horrendous. Yeah, thank you, keeping our listeners safe. Now, listen, Alasdair, look, we've been sent in this question, and I'm going to have to sort of give you some sort of maybe some background to this, or some slightly more information to this as I tell you about it, because the question itself is, I think. It's just one word, but I think in that way that sometimes less is more, and that by not really saying much, they've almost asked everything. Yeah. So this is from, and I'll try and read this as I can. This is from Ghost Emoji, Burger Emoji, Ghost Emoji, Sad Demon Emoji, Pooemoji, Pooemoji, who says, "I am Burger years old."
Sorry, is that of the Luxembourg Pooemoji?
I believe so. Do you think? I mean, I hadn't thought of that.
A distinguished line.
I didn't. Do you know what? I hadn't thought of that, and maybe you're right that we are speaking to royalty.
I think we are.
Goodness.
Well, I wouldn't want to take a risk, so let's assume we got a real blue blood on our hands.
Wow. Well, that's very. Goodness, I'm very honoured. I had no idea they were listening. And, that also explains that they are Burger years old, which is sort of what didn't make a lot of sense to me. But now that I know they're from that lineage.
Yeah. That's, everything's falling into place.
Yes.
Like a posh jigsaw.
Gosh, well, wow. I'm honoured. I'm quite overwhelmed. I don't know if we've had a royal listener before, but this Ghost Emoji, Burger Emoji, Ghost Emoji, Sad Demon Face Emoji from the Pooemoji lineage. Thank you for listening to the show, and I hope you're having.
Thank you, my liege.
Yes. Oh, sorry. Thank you, my liege. Your honour. Your ghost emojiness. Pooemojiness, and I hope you're having a lovely burger year of your life.
Happy burger to you.
Oh, that's beautiful. Well, it's
just a little fish joining me there for a little sing.
That was lovely. Very tricky when you get to the happy birthday, dear Ghost Emoji, Burger Emoji. Like that bit.
Yes, it's metrically, it's a real problem.
Yes, but they must have, probably quite open to different interpretations based, a lot of their lineage has long emoji-based names like that. So,
yeah,
sure, yeah. Birthdays just take a long time. Well, listen, they have sent in this, and I'm going to try and read it as it's been written, because there are a lot of question marks that follow, interspersed with full stops. So I'm gonna say it to you like it has been written, and they have asked, why?
Sorry, could you repeat the question?
Why?
Why?
Yes.
Have I heard that correctly?
Well, I mean, it's why, question mark, full stop, question mark, full stop, question mark, you see.
I think it's a great question.
Yes.
But I mean, it would be difficult to answer it without knowing how to pronounce an exclamation mark. How would you pronounce an exclamation
goodness.
mark?
And I just said exclamation mark. So it's question mark. Or do you need to say the exclamation mark for your answer?
My answer would include exclamation marks, but I just don't know how to say them in a podcast. Is it a sort of a noise?
Yes, it depends on if it's an angry... If you're like, ah, or if it's a, hey! Yeah. Like, sometimes it's really fun, isn't it? Like,
yes.
Best day of my life! Like, that's an exclamation.
You're right, the exclamation mark is flexible in that respect.
Absolutely.
So, I'm going to go for something in between.
Okay.
More of a sort of a, if that's all right.
Yes.
Indicating sort of surprise. So my answer would be, dunno.
Wow.
So I hope that's cleared a few things up.
That's very deep. That's very deep, actually. And I think your exclamation mark at the end that was the appropriate. The appropriate.
Yeah, I don't know if you know that was 12 exclamation marks, then a full stop, and then just one more.
Yeah. Well, I know it's very hard to really criticize or ask any questions about that. I feel like that's a very succinct and final answer. Could I throw a spanner into the works slightly? And again, I'm not allowed to throw spanners into work after the heron incident. Look, I don't want to talk about it, but I do. My only worry is when Ghost Emoji, Burger Emoji, etc., that's very rude of me. I should just say the name properly. But when they've asked why, and then that long line of question marks, is there also a chance that actually they're asking why question marks and full stops?
Oh, you think they might be one of the many people who are dead against punctuation of any kind?
I'm just curious because I don't want to. You gave such a beautiful and powerful answer, and I don't want to diminish from that. But just in case, actually, it wasn't what they intended at all. I just want to cover all the bases.
We need question marks. I'd staunchly defend question marks. How else would we know if something intriguing was happening?
No.
Without a question mark motif, then mystery, the world of mystery and illusion would be lost to us, wouldn't it?
Well, I mean, you wouldn't be able to ask that question, I suppose. You just
yeah, exactly. They would not let me ask the question.
Do you think mysteries would be incredibly boring without question marks?
It would be very, very, very bad if mysteries all began with, and the box had a hole in it, so that's how they got out. The end. You need the question mark at the start.
Yeah, is it possible to even say like who done it without a question mark at the end? Just who done it?
No, not grammatically.
Say it as a statement of fact, can you?
Yeah, every who done it would have to be called a they done it, and it would have a picture of the person who did it on the front of the book, and that would ruin it.
Wow. That's rubbish. I mean, it's also, it's just, this whole podcast is about answering questions, and it'd be very hard to answer any questions if everyone just sent us in statements of fact.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Exactly. The point of obviously your role is to deliver the facts, be they badger facts, or indeed occasionally mole facts. But the questions are crucial. And that's why we need question marks.
Yes. Yeah, and it's quite a beautiful shape, the question mark. I like it.
It is absolutely the most elegant of all punctuation.
Yeah, yeah.
The apostrophe is just a pretentious comma, let's be honest.
Yeah.
What's it doing up there?
I know that, yeah.
No. The semicolon, come on.
Yeah.
Who are you kidding?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just a full stop and a comma working together.
Yes, that's right.
It's obvious. Like what kind of a secret disguise is that?
Yes, which you've opened my eyes. I thought it was a comma wearing a hat. So now I had no idea that the full stop on top was part of the partnership and actually
that's
in on
just
it.
You're familiar with full stops. You've seen them.
Yeah,
before.
I am again. I've heard about them. I haven't. Much like you with the badger, you've witnessed one. I know about full stops. I haven't actually seen one out and about in the natural habitat.
Usually that's how sentences end.
Right.
Not always, I grant you, but usually that's how a sentence will end.
Right.
We call them periods in America.
Right.
Period.
Right.
That's how Americans say things. They'll say things like, "I don't want to hear about moles." Period. And they mean full stop. They don't mean like in the olden days. They don't mean like period drama.
Right. Okay. So you don't want to hear about like moles in the 15th century.
Yeah. No, they don't want to see a mole wearing a ruff. Who would?
I suppose you
certainly not me.
No, you'd yell it. Would you yell at it in a Victorian manner?
I would, but yes, in an old-fashioned idiom. I'd be like, "Prithee, varlet, get ye hence." Because that's how they talked in Victorian times. Wow. I don't know if you're aware of that.
That was very good.
Classic Victorian times talk.
Your mole yelling that you knew even how to address one from many years before.
Yeah, the olden days moles don't stand a chance against me.
Wow. Well, I was gonna I was so in awe of that. That's slightly thrown me off, I should say. But I was going to say that the question mark does have a full stop at the very bottom of it. But the top bit is like either a hook or half a light bulb or a lovely ear.
I thought of it as sort of a snake. chasing an apple. But you could be right. But then I suppose the exclamation mark is just a more determined snake chasing an apple.
Yes. Well,
whereas the question mark is taking a sort of curving scenic route.
Yes. Well, it's a bit like, I'm going to go over here. Oh, there's an apple. I better go back.
Yeah. Oh, what's that?
Yeah. Whereas exclamation mark is, I'm going to kill the apple.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, and when you know that snake is quite casual, obviously snakes don't quack, but I assume if it did, it would do it in a longer kind of more casual manner.
Well, I don't know if you're aware. We think of snakes as not having legs, but they've just got loads of little legs on the inside. That's how they move across the ground. Yeah. So if you listen carefully to a snake slithering, you can hear just hundreds of very quiet footsteps.
I mean, look, I don't want to take up your whole day here, but this is, some of the information you divulged is so remarkable that it's very hard not to ask you questions about it. Are snakes, if their legs are on the inside, are they like one giant sock with a head?
Yes. Right, they're like a sort of a Christmas stocking.
Right.
But instead of presents and maybe a tangerine, the innards of a snake there.
That is a really horrible gift.
You wouldn't want to mix them up on Christmas Day. That would be horrible.
Yes. But very cozy for the snake.
Yeah, what's in my stocking? A snake's spleen? Oh, no, this is just a snake. Leave it. It's trying to enjoy Christmas as well.
Yeah. I mean, that's horrendous. But I'm glad that snakes are always quite cozy and their feet are always warm, even on the coldest days.
I'm having a lovely time.
Yeah. And maybe that's why they were chosen for the question mark then. Because there's a lot of questions about whether they have legs or not.
Yeah, they're an animal of mystery and intrigue. There's no question about that.
Wow.
Or is there?
Oh, wow. Well, look, like I said, I think you answered it the first time round, but I'm pleased that we covered that ground just in case that is what the Duke of Pooemoji, possibly Prince of Pooemoji, was indeed asking.
Yes, I'm very, very happy. I hope you're satisfied, Your Highness.
Wow. Yes, well, hopefully they are. Hopefully they'll write back in when they are maybe fries years old or milkshake years old and let us know how they feel about the answer. And look, once again, it's just been a pleasure to have you on the show. I'm very sorry about the mole question, but other than that, I hope you've had fun. And
no, it's all right. You don't have to keep bringing up the mole situation.
Well, if I brought a mole up, you just yell at it.
I absolutely would. That mole, you wouldn't see that mole. I'd reduce it to a quivering mush.
Wow.
With my sarcastic remarks.
No one wants mole mush. That sounds disgusting.
No.
Horrible. Well, if you got a busy rest of the day, week, year, life.
Yeah, absolutely. It's I mean, I live in a blancmange factory, so it's pretty full on.
It sounds it, but lovely.
I don't know if you can hear any of the sounds of the blancmange engines chuntling away in the background. But it's very noisy. I can rarely sleep. But people will have their blancmange.
Well, people. They
don't really want to know how it's made.
No,
they just want to eat it.
Don't. Again, that's a question that I don't think should be answered.
No. It's a trade secret.
Yes.
As I took myself to sleep underneath the furnace, I sleep soundly, knowing the secret would die with me.
Well, thank you, and good luck with the sleeping under the blancmange furnace. Good luck with the mole yelling, the fish
singing.
Thank you. Everything, really, and thank you again for your time.
Thank you.
Whoa, slow down, egghead.
Thank you so much to Alasdair Beckett King for taking the time to answer that big but also small but also very, very big question from Ghost Burger Ghost of the Pooemoji dynasty. Ghost Burger, look, I do hope you liked your answer, but if not, please feel free to yell any complaints you have at a mole so that I don't have to hear them. Also, if you liked Alasdair and his silliness, he has written a book called Montgomery Bonbon, Murder at the Museum, and it is a murder mystery for readers aged 9+. Let me just give you a little read about what it's about. Many people go their whole lives without noticing anything that is afoot, amiss, or even untoward, without ever experiencing that toe-tingling, stomach-twisting sensation that a mystery is about to unfold. Not Bonnie Montgomery, the world's best detective. Not that anyone other than Grandpa Banks has heard of her. But they might have heard of the great Montgomery Bonbon, the well-dressed gentleman detective who, apart from the hat and moustache, looks suspiciously like a 10-year-old girl. Their newest case, solving the mystery surrounding a highly suspicious death at the Hornville Museum. Together they'll interview some dodgy witnesses, scour the scene for clues, and above all, hope no one notices that Bonnie and Montgomery are never in the same room at the same time. Oh, it sounds good, doesn't it? The little bits I've read of it are very, very funny, and you can buy it at all good bookshops right now, and probably some terrible ones, and probably a few evil ones as well. I doubt Alasdair's that picky. I've popped a link to it in the podcast blurb for this episode, so do check it out. And don't forget, if you have a question you'd like to send in, or you've got a joke that needs telling, or you want to say anything else at all, really, like what your preferred voice speed for me is, then get your Greybell mudscamps, grown-ups, to help you email us at podcast@comedyclubforkids.co.uk. Find out when we're doing a live comedy show near you at comedyclubforkids.co.uk, and join our mailing list there too, and you can grab our book and t-shirts at comedyclubforkids.store. Now, look, as you can hear, I'm back to my normal speed, as I'll be honest, is how I'm happiest talking. But then I thought, what if there are some of you who may think I don't talk fast enough, so I'd better try all the faster speeds too. And maybe I can just speed my voice up faster and faster and faster and faster until I'm talking so fast that my voice travels at light speed, and wow, I can yell at the moon and the stars and the planets and Alpha Centauri and the alien wearing a small hat and the sun and a space goblin and large Wendy the comet, and I get faster and faster and faster and I never slow down, I get faster. Whee! We are sorry to interrupt this podcast to bring you an important public service announcement. Tiernan has now spoken so quickly that his voice has entered another dimension, and we will not be able to retrieve it until all our team of highly trained quantum ducks have traversed the many possible realms it may be in, slowed it down, and returned it to Earth here in 2023, which should take about a week because they're very, very good. Well, unless someone distracts them by throwing bread. Please don't throw bread at the quantum ducks. And remember, please don't speak too fast or your voice will fly through space and then vanish. Also, don't pick your nose, don't be mean to yogurts, and never, ever, ever offer to brush a bison's teeth. Thank you. Goodbye. You have been listening to
Comedy Club for Kids presents.
Radio Nonsense! Radio Nonsense! Radio Nonsense! Radio Nonsense! Radio Nonsense! It's the end.